Description of places where asbestos is most commonly found. Asbestos is most commonly found and has been found in places where, due to its properties, it was most needed. I am primarily referring to fire safety. One of the basic functions of asbestos and its properties is its resistance to high temperatures and fire. Therefore, it was often used in fire safety measures. If we consider fire safety measures, for example, in the construction of frame buildings where steel is the main load-bearing element, the steel was, you could say, wrapped in a 5-centimeter layer of asbestos, and this asbestos provided protection against high temperatures. When it comes to fire safety measures, for example, gas stations had fire safety features made of asbestos. Firefighter gloves were made of asbestos. Fire blankets were made of asbestos. So, if we are looking for asbestos in a building, we should first consider where there was a fire hazard. If welding work or fire hazardous activities using an open flame were taking place in a building, asbestos materials were most often found there, and this is the first property of asbestos that was most commonly used and where this property was, you could say, the most important. Another place where asbestos was often used, possibly in conjunction with the first one I mentioned, is electrical insulation. Asbestos did not conduct moisture, nor did it conduct electricity, which made it perfectly suitable for insulation in places where a short circuit could occur. There were even electrical wires insulated with asbestos. Meter boards were also made with the presence of asbestos. So this is the second property that was very commonly used. Another property is the strength of asbestos. As a result, asbestos fibers served as reinforcement for cement boards. For example, asbestos cement boards, tile boards, alcohol boards on building facades. So everywhere where high strength was needed, and the dimensions of the material, asbestos fibers were used as a safeguard, even if the asbestos materials were supposed to be small. There were, for example, asbestos cement pipes used as sewage pipes, water pipes, ventilation ducts, gutters, downspouts, and many other materials that utilize the properties of asbestos in this way. Due to its properties, asbestos was also found in flooring. When it comes to ceramic tiles with added asbestos, they provided protection and reinforcement due to the asbestos fibers. There were PVC tiles, linoleum, and they contained asbestos both in their structure and were also glued with asbestos adhesive. Asbestos was also added to concrete as a reinforcement for the mixture. It was on the steps of the stairs in the form of anti-slip strips. Asbestos, due to its resistance to moisture absorption, was also used in so-called torqued plasters, where there were areas where buildings were exposed to moisture. Most often basements were plastered with such plaster that did not absorb moisture. Asbestos, due to its insulating properties, was used as an insulator for steam ducts and heating pipes. So, simplifying the situation, if we enter a building and want to consider where asbestos might be, we should think about the purpose of that particular place. If there had to be resistance to high temperatures in a certain place, there is a high chance that we will find asbestos there. If moisture resistance was important in a certain place, we will also find asbestos there. If resistance to short circuits or electrical breakdown was important in a certain place, we will also find asbestos there. If resistance to acids, bases, or seawater was important in a certain place, we will also find asbestos there. So, in all such critical areas of the building, there is a very high chance that we will find asbestos, considering that the building was constructed before 1998.